so keep your eyes open. You never know what trick he'll use to steal me secret Krabby Patty formula.
Oh, yeah.
For over 20 years, one mystery has remained unsolved in the mind of the viewers of SpongeBob SquarePants. The same mystery lasted well over 13 seasons and almost 250 episodes. As a strange pants-wearing sponge and his starfish bestie terrorize Bikini Bottom. It's in many ways the one question that still keeps its viewers on their toes. The show was released in the year 1999, and we're introduced to one of the most committed villains in animation history. The main antagonist of SpongeBob has a very clear objective in mind. Plankton is on the losing end of a long-running dispute with his former friend and current rival restaurateur when he encounters SpongeBob. His eatery, the Chum Bucket, is struggling, but Mr. Krabs' business, the Krusty Krab, is doing great. While he's just scraping by, Mr. Krabs is perfectly thriving. Plankton is resentful as a result, and he makes it his life's work to discover and steal the formula behind Mr. Krabs' success. In almost every episode of SpongeBob, Plankton can be seen planning one grand scheme or the other. In the first season, in an episode titled Plankton, Squidward sends SpongeBob a Krabby Patty order, and SpongeBob makes it appear as though it's coming out of Squidward's nose by performing a magic trick. The patty, however, starts to move on its own when SpongeBob cooks it and moves in the direction of the entrance. The patty is stopped in its tracks by Mr. Krabs, who then reveals that it was being taken by none other than Plankton, Mr. Krabs' arch-enemy. As Plankton declares that he'll return, Krabs puts his adversary on a plate and throws him back to the Chum Bucket across the street.
Plankton, sir?
Aye! He's been trying to steal me secret formula for years!
Plankton, according to Mr. Krabs, is his greatest rival and has spent countless years attempting and failing to obtain the secret recipe for Krabby Patties.
Today is the 25th anniversary of the first time me arch-enemy Plankton ever tried to steal me secret Krabby Patty formula.
Mr. Krabs explains this to SpongeBob. This episode introduces us to Plankton and also tells us about the secret formula. Personally, I wonder why Plankton spent years and years trying to steal a recipe for something that was obviously just a burger. Honestly, if anyone could come up with so many ideas on how to steal something, then he might as well just try to come up with his own recipe. But after seeing the reaction that Plankton had when he ate his own food, I think we start to understand why he wants the Krabby Patty formula so bad. With over 23 years of SpongeBob content, you would think that the secret to the Krabby Patty formula would be revealed. In fact, a couple of times some secret ingredients behind the Krabby Patty were revealed. But then, as the animated series continued, most of these recipes were either ignored or completely debunked, thereby leaving us and Plankton without any recipe. There are a few fan-made, non-canon explanations as well. Some viewers, in the absence of a real explanation, think they may have uncovered the real hidden ingredient in the Krusty Krab's most well-known dish. Let's talk about the components that we already are familiar with first. The first ingredients are nothing new, as SpongeBob has made numerous Krabby Patties in front of viewers throughout the years. A Krabby Patty often includes 1 sesame bun, 1 Krabby Patty, ketchup and mustard, pickles, can't forget the pickles, lettuce, tomato, and onion, cheese. According to SpongeBob, a proper Krabby Patty also consists of barnacle shavings mixed into the meat. This particular ingredient may sound a little bit off, but it may turn out to be delicious. Barnacles are edible after all, and considered absolutely delicious by those that consume them, so why not add one to the mix? The basic Krabby Patty recipe only lacks 1 ingredient while looking quite good. Furthermore, no one's certain of what it is. The only distinction between a Krabby Patty and an ordinary uninspired burger continues to be the final secret component of the Krabby Patty formula. For decades, Nickelodeon has kept it a closely guarded secret. No official explanation has ever been provided. This leaves numerous SpongeBob fans to conjecture, and they've produced a few promising possibilities. In Season 3, the supposed secret behind Mr. Krabs' Krabby Patties was supposedly revealed. In this episode, Plankton's Army, Plankton decided to celebrate the 25th anniversary of his very first attempt to steal the secret formula by trying to do the same thing he had tried to do all these years, but still failed to execute: steal the Krabby Patty. After 25 years of failing, Plankton finally successfully steals the recipe. Only this time, he finally succeeds.
Yes, it's mine. The formula's mine. After all these years, it's finally mine.
After 2.5 decades, Plankton eventually manages to get his hands on Mr. Krabs' recipe book with the help of a whole swarm of family members. He discovers the recipe for the top secret ingredient in its pages, which apparently are what gives Krabby Patties their addictive flavor. The ingredients include a pinch of salt, 3 teaspoons of chopped onions, a cup of love, and 4 heaping pounds of freshly ground plankton. Even while it appears in this episode that the real Krabby Patty recipe has been revealed, by the time the next episode starts, the recipe which was found was not mentioned. Plankton had already gone back to his regular antics and was still looking for the formula. In the end, it appears that Mr. Krabs may have been attempting to discourage his small rival from further replication efforts. You see, Mr. Krabs is a father. However, Pearl, his daughter, shares almost no similar traits with her supposed father. Instead of being a crustacean, she's a mammal and she weighs a few thousand pounds more than her elderly parent. Since Pearl's mother was never mentioned, it's never made much sense for Mr. Krabs to have a whale for a daughter. So due to this, a theory developed. If a whale carcass lowers to the ocean floor, it can feed a whole fish community for decades. Due to this reason, many SpongeBob enthusiasts think that whale meat may actually be the hidden component in Krabby Patties. The hypothesis claims that Mr. Krabs found a whale carcass some time ago and claimed both its meat and its skin. Another convincing belief is that crab, rather than a whale, is the vital ingredient behind the Krabby Patty craze. Although it appears quite bleak, there's actually good evidence to support this notion. Check out the Krusty Krab eatery for starters. It seems familiar, right? Well, this is due to the establishment's crab trap-inspired design. This provides the foundation for a very valid argument, especially when it's combined with the fact that Mr. Krabs is the only crab to ever appear throughout the series. Nickelodeon once shared an old Krabby Patty recipe that pretty much supports this theory. Though the recipe calls for a number of components, imitation crab meat serves as the main component of the crucial patty of flesh. We assume the imitation half of the recipe gets dropped down at Bikini Bottom, where crabs would usually be much more readily accessible. Poseidon powder, a specific ingredient mentioned in the original Krabby Patty recipe, is one of the most well-known secret formula candidates. Although the precise nature of the secret component is unknown, SpongeBob fans have some hypotheses. A lot of opinions have been shared concerning what Poseidon powder really is. In all honesty, it really sounds like King Neptune's special powder is the code word for drugs. According to Urban Dictionary, Poseidon powder is cocaine, and quite a lot of people would agree with that theory. The completely canon habit-forming properties of the Krabby Patty, which are highlighted in the Season 3 episode, Just One Bite, makes this notion sound more believable. The plot of this episode shows Squidward taking his first bite of a Krabby Patty, at which point he becomes immediately addicted. Even to his disadvantage, the former Krabby Patty critic completely falls in love with the unhealthy lunch option and gets addicted to them. Many fans have, however, taken to believing the illegal justification for the secret formula because of the Krabby Patty's allegedly addictive qualities. It would really make sense though. It explains the establishment's ubiquity and the apparent compulsion behind many of its most devoted patrons, and Mr. Krabs' elusiveness with regards to his essential components. We can't disregard one more theory because it's too plausible. In 2016, Reddit user HeroLover96 hypothesized that the secret ingredient in the Krusty Krab's most well-known menu item is actually nothing. They think that Mr. Krabs is just using the concept of a secret formula as a marketing strategy to sell more Krabby Patties, and this actually makes a lot of sense. People often like what they can't see, They cite examples to back up their claim, pointing out that Plankton's restaurant outsells the Krusty Krab in an episode where he asks Patrick to come up with a new slogan for the Chum Buckets. They contend that Mr. Krabs eliminates his prime